So today I will be showing you how to make a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. When you first begin, you'll create it, and when you click on it, it'll bring you to this, and you can choose any style or format that you would like. On this one, it gives you a tour, a welcome to PowerPoint tour, and then a quick starter. Then after that, you can choose any style, like any background that you want. There's a lot of options that you can choose from. For today, I have just chosen the blank presentation. And so after you've chosen your style and background that you want, you just hit the create button down here. And as I've said it, I've already created one, and it's a blank presentation. So when you get here, it'll say click to add title, and then click to add subtitle. So when you click here, it just is empty, so you can type whatever you want, like whatever title you're thinking about having, or like whatever your presentation's about. It can basically be anything you want. For today, I'll just make a presentation about Christmas because it's my favorite holiday. And then the next step is adding a subtitle. So like if you wanted to add like a brief description, or like who was the author of it, or like who the people in your group were, it's completely up to you. If you don't want to add anything, you can just leave it blank. While you're editing, it will still have the click to add subtitle as it is shown here, but when you go to present it or view it, it will disappear. So the only thing you'll have is what you have put or what you have already typed. And so there's many things you can do. I will just click on this so it highlights them all. So when it comes to concerning your type and like your font, there's many different options. So like all your normal editing tools that you would see on basically any Microsoft platform, like Microsoft Word or like Docs, you can change your type, like the font of your type. If you've already typed, you'll just double click and highlight the type, and then you can come up here and change it. There's different ways you can do it. Basically completely up to you. I'm going to leave it at the typewriter. You can also change the size of your font, depending on how big or small you want it, and how, like, where you want it on your page. And then from there, you can change the color of your font. So the theme colors is like the general colors for the style or background you've chosen. But then it's basically up to you, and you can pick any of these or these, but then you can also come down here to more colors, and then you can basically choose anything you would like. And there's different there's sliders, then your general like rainbow type colors, and then your spectrum, and then you have these that you can choose. But once you've chosen your color, you'll just hit OK, and then it'll change your color. So I'm gonna just change it. This is a pretty color. I'm gonna change it to that color. When it comes to typing, you can also change where your type is. So right now it's in the center of my page, but I can also move it to the left or to the right. Your spacing, which we only have one word, so we don't really necessarily have to worry about that. But your line spacing will be up here, and you can choose like double spaced or whatever you want, whatever you think looks best. And then you also have your bullet points and your numbering right here. And then these two right here is if you're typing like a paragraph, or if you have bullet points or numberings, you can indent more, which would increase it, or less, which would then bring it back to where you previously had it. Here is where you can bold, use italics or underline things or strike through. These are all just your normal editing. This right here is your highlighter. So if you needed to highlight something, you could double click again and then use the highlighter to highlight something. And then over here, this is your shape fill, which that would fill the entire thing. or your shape outline, which if you had a shape, that would just be the outline of it. And then over here, this is just your layouts. If you wanted more sections like these, you could add them, or if you wanted to go back to what you were, you just hit this, and then your layout, here I can click on that, is just what your slide is divided into. So then if we move over to insert, this is where you can insert almost anything. You can insert a table, which on this, if you wanted like a 2x2, you would just basically fill in the little squares that you would need, and then it'll insert for you. Or you have your pictures. This you can get from your computer, or you can just browse. This is a screenshot. If you take a screenshot, you can take a screenshot of your computer. Your add-ins, and then this is your shapes, and you can add all of these and then change the size of them once they've been added in. Your icons, and then your arts, and if you needed charts, you could add charts. If you needed to comment simply, you could just comment. Your text box, which is what these are, you could insert those if you would like, or a header and footer, which I have never personally used, but you could if you would like. And then your word art, and then you have equations and symbols, and then if you needed video or audio, you could also add that. Design, this kind of brings us back to where we first started. This will bring you all the different backgrounds that you first saw. Like if you're in the middle of your presentation, you're like, I think I want to switch it up. You can just simply come up here to design and choose a different background. And then you can change the slide side, you can format the background. There's a whole slew of different things. And then transitions, this part right here, all of these are for your slides. So when you go to slideshow up here, we'll talk about that later, and you present it, when you present it, these will be the way your slides slide in. And then you can add sound, and then this will be the duration, like how long it takes for the slides to transition. And then this on mouse click, for your transitions, your slides will only transition if you click your mouse, or you can turn it off, and if you turn that off, it'll be after a certain number of seconds that it'll just transition on its own, or you can do both. And then right here, this is a nifty tool. If you've gone through and you have forgotten to do transitions, you can pick your transitions and then click apply all, and it'll apply to all your slides. Your animations are if you have pictures or like text that you don't want to come in right away when you click on the slide, or when your slide appears in your presentation, you can animate them. And then there's a whole bunch of these that you can pick, but then if you animate them, they can come in when you want them to, or stay as long as you want them to, and then disappear. It is completely up to you. And then your slideshow, this is just where you can start your slideshow and view it from your current slide, or just like rehearse if you need to. This is really useful if you're like practicing and you just need to like figure out like your timing and how everything's working out. You can come up here and really practice. It really allows for practice. And then this is really nice. It will check this review tab. It checks your spelling, and if you need like a thesaurus for different words, it'll bring that up. And then it just allows for a bunch of tools for like editing your PowerPoint, or if you have someone that is editing it for you, they can also use this. And then this is just your view of like your slide and how it fits and how you zoom in and all of that. And then I've forgotten a tiny bit down here where it says click to add notes. That, if you decided to print your PowerPoint off, you would be the only one to see these. What your viewers are going to see is all up here, where like your type and your pictures and all your other stuff is going to be. But if you were to print off your PowerPoint, you would get your slides and your notes, but you would be the only one to see your notes. So all in all, this is an awesome tool to use for presentations or class projects, and it's been an awesome tool for me to use, and I hope you find this video useful.